Yesterday.
Yeah, these are the people that.
Okay, welcome everybody. Let's call this meeting to order. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everyone again. Let's go straight to our student update with ASB President Ethan Douglas.
Thank you. Good evening, board. I'm going to start off just like I normally do with academics. Finals week wrapped up last week, so everyone took a final or had some sort of project in each one of the classes that they're at the high school. We've made a bigger shift towards finals recently because we've wanted to make sure that students are ready for college, and we've had some students come back and say, oh man, I've never had to take a big test like that. And so that was one of the things that the high school has recently shifted towards, and we've seen success with that. And it's the last trimester of the year. It starts tomorrow, so everybody's looking forward to trimester 3 and getting some new classes that they can take part in. And the students wrap up finals kind of, because grading is actually today. Today was a teacher grading day, so final grades should be finished for everyone today. Recently, our Thriving Oats programs have been putting on performance after performance. Our Drama 2 classes at the high school just put on Much Ado About Nothing, which is a Shakespeare play. It broke the record for the most highly attended Shakespeare play in Sherwood High School history. Yeah, I went with a couple of members from student council. I actually had a lot of fun. It was different than most Shakespeare shows that I've watched. There was some comedy in there too, where, people were going a little off script, and it was actually kind of fun. The next big show, The Sound of Music, has already been cast and opens April 18th. That's the finale for the theater department this year. They have another kind of theater show program that they do with kind of at the end of the year, but it's not like a full-blown show that they put on. The band's biggest fundraiser of the year is Swing in the Green, which takes place this weekend on the 15th. The SHS Band Festival concert is the 19th, so boom, boom. And on March 12th, choir will compete in the state repertoire concert, followed by the state qualifying choir festival at George Fox on March 14th. So the arts have been busy. And while they've been busy, we've had some key events coming up at the school. Next week is Custodial Appreciation Week. So starting on the 17th, running through the March 21st, we do a bunch of different things, just like we did with Staff Appreciation Week, to kind of give back to our custodians that help serve the school at the high school. And spring break is also right around the corner, starting March 24th. School will resume on April 1st. April Fools. No, actually it does start back up that day. Thanks, I appreciate the response. I wasn't sure. I kept striking through that one, going through it, and I was like, do I say that? I appreciate the laugh. Thank you. Okay. Athletics. All of our winter sports have just kind of finished wrapping up. Girls basketball just wrapped up their season with a strong first round playoff appearance against a really competitive team. boys basketball finished up their season in the second round of playoffs last Friday against West Lynn. If any of you were able to catch that game, it was incredibly intense, and our boys played really hard, so that was a lot of fun to watch. Arrows Dance heads to state on the 22nd. We had one wrestler win state this year. Walter Dom is a wrestling state champion, and Andreas Hernandez finished as state runner-up. And our wrestling team actually placed 5th overall at state. So that's a huge accomplishment because it's kind of a aggregation of all the individual performances to do team rankings. So overall, we performed really, really highly at state for wrestling. Spring sports are just kicking off. We had the first official practices last week. They're going to continue this week. All teams had their pictures. We did team pictures today and kind of the media day, which was fun. And competitions are right around the corner, so those will get kicking into gear. And different this spring compared to past years, the high school now has 2 club teams that are trying to vie for OSA official sports status. They are recognized activities, so it's boys volleyball and girls flag football. And so they're both OSA recognized activities, and they are on the correct path to becoming sports. And we're hoping that they will transition from being clubs this year that any student can participate into an official sport through the high school next year that anyone can participate in as well. I think that's all I got tonight. I would like to invite all of our guests today from any of the elementary school chess teams, and I'll turn it over to the principals to talk a little bit about that as well.
Can I take this out? Well, good evening, Dr. Downs, Board of Directors. We are excited to be here tonight to showcase some of our elementary chess club members. So for those of you who don't know, each of our elementary schools has a chess club this year. Ridges took a hiatus for a little bit. I think some of the other schools have had a chess club more recently than we have, but this is Ridge's first year back to doing chess since COVID. And so we were really excited to have someone step up to the plate to take over that big task. We have over 80 kids at Ridges that participate in chess. Every Wednesday, our kiddos get up and are at school by 7 really early before everybody else to participate in chess. So tonight from Ridges, I have Maddox Miller and Ezra Hill, and they are prepared to just share their favorite part of chess here and something that they learned.
My favorite part of chess this year was getting to go to all the tournaments, and something I learned is not opening up certain ways so then you don't so your king doesn't get put in checkmate too soon.
My favorite part of chess this year was being able to play with other kids who are interested in chess, and I learned a lot of ways to put people into checkmate.
And I'm going to hand it right over to our Middleton chess representatives. Come on over here because they are ready to talk. This is Cameron Stubblefield and Chase Horton.
Hello, I'm Chase Horton. I'm a 5th grader at Middleton Elementary School. And this is Cam Stubblefield, also a 5th grader at Middleton Elementary. Today we are going to talk about the openings of chess, the end games of chess, the experience with chess, and why it is so much fun. First, I will tell you about the openings in chess. Did you know that there are over 1,300 chess openings? When you play chess, you never know what you're going to expect. My favorite opening is the English.
My favorite opening is the Fianchetto. Now I'll talk about the endgame of chess. The endgame is the most exciting part of the chess game because if you make one mistake, you may be done. When you play chess,
when you play chess, it is not about winning or losing. It's about the experience. Cam and I have had some amazing experiences through Middleton Chess Club and have seen a a lot of strong competitors over the years at Middleton. Having fun is the #1 rule of playing chess.
Chase and I have made some very funny openings, including the Ducky Queen's Gambit. As you can see, chess is a super fun game. Chess has given Chase and I lots of great memories that we will have for the rest of our lives. Thank you, Jim and Mike, our coaches, for all the hard work you've done for our chess club.
Good evening. Tonight from Archer Glen, we have 2 members of our chess team. We have about 30 kiddos that come every Thursday morning, bright and early at 7, and they are on time every Thursday morning to practice and partner up with different groups so that they can learn not only from their coaches, but also from each other. And so we actually have one of our 5th graders, Jack Phelps, and then we have our 3rd grader, Pranav Balasubramanian, and they're going to share a little bit. Jack is going to tell us how he actually got into playing chess, and then Pranav is going to talk about the regional tournament that they participated in last weekend, where we came in 2nd place overall, and that puts our team qualifying for state, and then Pranav qualified as an individual for state. So I'm going to turn it over to Jack, and then we'll hear from Pranav.
So none of my family actually knows how to play chess, and I learned it from my uncle. When I first started playing with him, I was not good at all. Every time he visited, we kept playing over and over. And for the last couple years, every time I've actually won against him. And yeah.
He's in the post.
Last week in the regional tournament, that was actually a few weeks ago, and we got 2nd place because they also mixed up the regions, saying that we were 4th place. But we actually got 2nd place, and I got qualified for the individual state. And the state's coming up soon.
Thank you so much.
All right. And at Hawksview, we are over 120 strong in our chess program. And we do, they do chess after, so I don't play chess. They've done it after school. And we have a really strong program, and Mark's been playing. You're going to say the rest. You do it.
I've been in Hawksview Chess Club for 6 years and on the tournament team for 3 years. I enjoy chess because it's a fun and challenging game. Some of my favorite moments from Chess Club have been winning the district tournament last year and placing 2nd in regional tournament. Congrats to Middleton this year for winning our district tournament. One of my favorite moves I've learned is the Scholar's Mate, which is a form of checkmate. Chess is important because it teaches you to focus, strategy, patience, and good sportsmanship. It's one of the few games that you can play people of different ages and you don't have to speak the same language. Our chess tournament team really feels like a team, even though we play our own game. I'm looking forward to middle school chess club next year. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. I know nothing about chess, but I know about 500 of you that I could ask, I'm sure. This is amazing. I love seeing the numbers grow. 120, that's crazy. That's so many kids playing chess. I'm so limited to checkers. So, thank you so much for being here. We are thrilled to have you. I don't know if any of the board members want to say anything, but before you leave, we'd love to get a picture with all of you. Over here, I think would be the best. Is that a good spot?
Yeah, and before we hop up, I just want to say thank you so much for coming. I had an opportunity to watch you in action. Super cool. And I know you work really hard in practice. And thank you for sharing. That was really awesome to hear. And thanks for taking time to come tonight. And it was nice to meet everyone. So on behalf of our team, keep having fun. And thanks for working hard in chess.
So if we want to just come over here. Yeah, okay. Come up here for, yeah. Sure. We need to prove that we know you and how cool you are.
You have to.
We're the short people. Alright, so. I guess the parents go first.
I know, I'm like, this is everything.
At some point, we'll look at the.
Okay, look at Danny or Kate. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you guys. Good job. Good job. Thank you.
Thank you. You're more than welcome to stay, but you definitely don't have to. Okay, we are going to move on to our superintendent update with Dr. Downs.
Good evening, board, and so fun to see all the kids. It's great, and I want to thank our elementary principals and teams because behind all that chess are parent volunteers and staff that help organize and run the tournaments, and it is just awesome. I had an opportunity to see them in action, and there are multiple teams and multiple levels of kids interacting. Some who are like, I want to try this and want to go be with friends, and others that want to be on the more competitive level. And no matter where they're going and entering in, we are just happy to have them. And so it's really has some good steam and good momentum, as you hear. And it's a lot of kids across our district that are on Thursdays practices in chess. So it's pretty cool. What I wanted to just highlight a couple things here. First, I want to circle back to the all staff appreciation week that we had that I mentioned in the last board meeting, but specifically, I just want to say thank you to our community. They really took time to make some personal connections with our staff, and it was really heartfelt. And on behalf of myself, it was touching, and I think that our staff felt that and took. It was really wonderful. In our district, we combine and celebrate everyone together during the same week. And we do that on purpose, and we just appreciate the communities and the parents and the volunteers and the grandparents who took a minute to say thank you in many different ways. We are, as Ethan mentioned, in Tri-3 starting tomorrow. And so you blink and it's here. And what my encouragement is to families and to kids is to stay strong and persevere and make sure they stay focused, put their head down. We do have a couple weeks and then we're going to have a break. And then as soon as you come back, if you've been in any education system for a while, I think after spring break, it goes by very quickly for the most part. And so we're very excited and we want to support all of our students. I want to just specifically highlight that many of our seniors are at that juncture where they are processing through a lot as some of their K-12 experience is coming to a close. And we want to make sure and support them. And I'm thankful for their experiences all along, starting with, many of them started in elementary school with us. And so it's pretty amazing. Every week we have an opportunity, we study in our executive team, we study our enrollment and class sizes, as we brought up before. Wanted to highlight right now some good news around enrollment from last year at the same window to this year. We are up 30 students, and that was not projected by demographers. And so we are hopeful that that's a trend that will continue and will stabilize over the next couple months. So we will end the school year on an enrollment upswing, which would be an anomaly for school districts. Often they lose students. And traditionally we have over that time, but currently we are up 30 students from the same time period last year. So basically from December until now. We closely monitor and work with high school students in particular who may have earned enough credits to potentially graduate early. But many of those students wrap up in end of try one actually, and decide they're going to go and begin college, begin a job, begin to do something. So many of our students who are still with us for trimester 3 are going to be with us till the end. They may not have to take the full day. They may take an abbreviated day. So that was good news, and we're keeping an eye on maybe where families are coming in from and moving in from, and where some of the students are returning from. So just wanted to kind of keep you in the loop there. I also want to give you a heads up about our Studer survey. We have that partnership with Studer. They came and spoke with us last year, and we did the first ever Studer survey, and we are going to be doing that again. And so more to come on that, but I wanted to let you know that we're excited to have a data point to compare, which is based on last year. So we're going to give it during the same window that we did last year, and we're trying to be as creative as we can, and we'll ask for your help along that way. As how do we get this out to parents so they can actually provide feedback for us. We were very creative last year in getting out with some QR codes and at different events, at the plays, at band concerts, at conferences. We are going to do the same thing at pickup and drop off lines. We'll be creative about getting we want to grow the number of people that take it, because that just gives us better data. So that will be coming. And then last, I just want to quickly mention that our strategic planning is going really well. Very excited as we work together with our team. And thank you again, as I always like to say, to Hans for being our school board representative. What I want to let you know is our principals, when we brought a draft to them, and we said, we need some feedback and we want you to go to your staff to get feedback. They said, this is awesome. This is needed. Let's slow that down. Can we have a little time? And I brought it up to you before and we said, sure. So originally we were hoping to bring it to you before in April, and we decided that we need to give them time to go to their staff to get feedback from their staff on kind of the draft. That gives us time to kind of meet with you three to share the draft as well. So I will be inviting you in to meet with me to work through the draft so you can see it as well, just as you would interact, just as the staff is interacting with it. So that's going to happen in between now and the end of April, and then we still plan to bring it to you in May, and we're pretty excited about that. Otherwise, thank you for you're always invited to come to any of the events. We are going to have a lot of events. Ms. Sticka and I have had an opportunity to look at the calendar, and I just want to let you know we'll be throwing a lot of events your way. Please know that we understand you have busy full-time lives, and we always want you to be invited. There are a lot of amazing things between now and the end of the school year. And as we look at this, we were like, oh my goodness, there's a lot going on, and it's a lot of fun. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's move to board updates. We have updates from Director Mueller and Director Hawkins tonight.
Thank you, Harmony. So I just wanted to take a minute to bring up a topic I talked about a few months ago, but I think it bears repeating, that I snuck into a couple elementary schools in the last month and met with some of the people there, and just to see and observe what was going on. And I just have to say that it is very impressive in the last year or two, and the enthusiasm, the positivity, and the relationships that are happening in these schools. It is a tremendous difference of what I've noticed in the last couple of years. So that's a trend that is very important, and it's a contribution of community, parents, everyone involved, and it isn't one thing or another. But I just want to say it is really an experience, and it is really a true thing that is going on here. Secondly, just wanted to reiterate and appreciate and thank the Education Foundation again for the speaker who came and talked to us about cell phones. There's been a lot of positivity around that and the results of what we instituted. I guess we instituted, yes, at the beginning of the year. And that was very apparent walking around the schools in the hallways. There's no question about it, that it is a positive influence and the right thing to do. And I know there's more to come on cell phones at a later date. All positive, though, I might add. One last thing is there's lots of things to do. Aaron is right. And just a shout out to poker night. If you've never been to a poker night for a grad night party, they don't get much press, but it's at the Elks this Friday night to benefit grad night 2026. It is really fun to go to and entertaining. And if you're interested in poker in a non-competitive way, that's the place to be, Elks at 6 p.m. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. I know in February I went to the crab feed for baseball, and I kept trying to think how to help them because they were telling all their baseball parents, and then they had so many tickets still available. And there's all these amazing events, but they don't know how to like cross communicate with each other. And we do have our district Facebook page, but I don't, there's just so much on there. And so I know I wish there was a better place to go to see all of the events that were happening and kind of publicize that better. I don't know. It's just interesting if your kid's not involved in one thing, you don't tend to know. Like I don't have kids in drama and I don't tend to know about the plays unless I write them down from here. So we got to do some thinking on that, how to share that better with social media. My only update tonight is with regards to standards-based grading. I've gotten a lot of feedback over at standards-based grading for the last 3 or 4 years, pretty much since I joined the board. A lot of it from parents, some from teachers and some from students as well. And so over the last couple of months, myself and Harmony and Dr. Downs and Marlene have worked on putting together a survey, and it is going out to all middle and high school students as well as all middle and high school teachers. And so that we can get some good feedback and figure out how to move forward in a way that feels good for all of our students and teachers. So I'm excited to get that feedback. I really appreciate the district taking that step. Grading is something that they ultimately get to decide on. And so it's, been a lot for us to keep pressing that and asking to review it. But we really appreciate the opportunity to do that. And so hopefully this last trimester of school, we'll come back with some updates and some discussion around that. And that's everything for me.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to pass the consent agenda?
I motion to pass the consent agenda.
Wonderful. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Okay, there is no public comment tonight, so we're moving right past that. We'll move right into info and discussion, and up now is Brady Strutz to talk about Sherwood West.
Thank you so much. At the end of February, Dr. Downs and I had a great opportunity to connect with city leadership to discuss the Sherwood West Development Project. The mayor and key city staff generously walked us through the concept plan. They provided us with insights into the scope, the timeline, the desired outcomes for the project, and we really appreciated the opportunity to learn about the key developments in the plan and discuss kind of how the school district can support its success. It was a really great conversation. We left there feeling really energized about the mission behind it all. Both the city and the school district share an enthusiasm for fostering a real true sense of community and connectedness in this project. With the prospect of new spaces and new folks coming in, we're all really focused on bringing them into the fabric of our community and our schools in a way that feels really intentional and welcoming. And that was a big focus of our conversation and our time together. As far as next steps, there's still a lot to do. If you've seen the concept plan, you know that we're still in the early phases of it. And the school district is going to have the opportunity to serve on 2 separate city committees and support their work from the school district's point of view. And we're excited to aid in the planning and make Sherwood West a vibrant and connected element of our community and our schools. We're super encouraged by the process and the really thoughtful approach being taken by the city. Really grateful to the city and the mayor for their leadership and partnership. We're really excited for the work ahead.
Any questions? Okay. Well, thank you, Brady. Appreciate the update. I'm sure they're one of many. Okay, we're going to move on to our annual superintendent evaluation. This is very brief and quick. Obviously, the four directors were given a survey based on OSBA framework for evaluating the 8 performance standards and the 3 goals that Dr. Downs submitted to us. The survey used a scoring guide of 4 categories, 1 through 4, 4 being the highest of accomplished, 3 effective, 2 equals developing, 1 an ineffective. Remind you that Dr. Downs has only been here 8 months. So he got wonderful remarks, all 3s and 4s, obviously mostly 4s, because he's doing a tremendous job. The board was also able to give open-ended feedback and indicated that Dr. Downs has done a tremendous job at familiarizing and integrating himself with the community and key stakeholders. He possesses great leadership skills and naturally builds relationships and trust. He has made it a priority to be in every school regularly during his integrated learning walks and to make sure administrators are in their buildings as much as possible with their students. This is just a little bit of feedback. It's all been very positive. We're very happy to have you here. It goes without saying that our relationship dives much deeper than what I just said. We are in constant communication all the time. I mean, if we don't talk for one day, you know, it's kind of like, well, what happened? Nothing happened. Oh my gosh, amazing. So, it's going wonderfully. Our relationship is, I think, very collaborative, very open, very respectful. And I hope that you're enjoying it as much as we are enjoying having you. So, okay, that's it.
I just say thank you. And I know it's a little odd,
Yeah.
a little odd and awkward. I just want to say thank you, and I am. And I want to, again, thank you and for entrusting with me. And just the start has just been amazing. And I love getting to know you and our community. And I want to say thank you to our team that's here and the folks that aren't here that have done an amazing job. Thank you for putting up with my questions and for my prompts as I get to learn Sherwood, and it's been a lot of fun. So looking forward to continuing. Thanks.
I'll just say I'm glad you came to choose Sherwood last year. We appreciate you having you here.
All right, we're cruising. We're on to action items already. So we're going to start again with Brady Struts and finalization of interdistrict transfers for 25-26 school year.
Thank you. In accordance with the board's directive from the previous meeting, the following interdistrict transfer plan for the 30 allocated slots is presented for finalization with a specified transfer window. So the application window will open on March 11th, 2025 and close at 4 p.m. on April 30, 2025.
Thank you. Before we go ahead with that, I would like to revisit the interdistrict release number action item from the February meeting. All of our board members were not accounted for at that meeting, and it didn't sit right with me to go forward with what was voted on at the February meeting. So what I would like to do, I want to give them a chance to weigh in. So I'm going to make a motion to revisit the action item of outgoing interdistrict transfer numbers and discussion. Is there a second? I second. Great. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. So now we can open up to discussion about that interdistrict transfer window of releases only.
Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the opportunity to do that. I try not to miss meetings, and I was gone last time that we were able to meet. And I was a little frustrated to hear that we had moved forward with that number. For me, when I very first started on the school board, I asked, like, how did we come up with that number and why do we have 30? Just seemed kind of arbitrary. And at the time, I know I'd spoken with Mr. Rose, and he had said that that's just the way we had been, that we kind of all just play nice in the sandbox. We do that with our neighboring districts, and that's just the way it works. Which was kind of an okay answer until we were having money problems. And then I was wondering why we were still allowing 30 kids to leave our district because, quite frankly, I mean, I was fighting tooth and nail to keep money here. So to see kids leaving, many of who I knew personally, but were leaving for sport opportunities or just choosing to be in a different district with friends, that was a hard pill to swallow for our district. Ultimately, I want kids to be where they thrive. So if that's homeschool or private schooling, or if it really does need to be in a different district, I do support that, but there are limits to that. And I do feel like if kids are just choosing to move for every day, I'd rather be with my friend or plan a different team. Like, as somebody who has to think about the financial health of this district, it doesn't sit so well with me. And so that number was higher than I would like to see it. And I think that because other neighboring districts have seen issues with their financial resources as well, they've been revisiting those numbers. So I do appreciate you taking the opportunity to bring it back up today.
First, I just want to say I really appreciate all the other board members here and that we were able to discuss these issues when we have disagreements. And I think everyone up here comes in good faith and we're able to have these conversations. So I just want to say I appreciate all of you to do that. I was the dissenting vote. I had reservations about going to an absolute zero number. And I know Director Carson knew that that was the case. I was kind of go ahead and agree with it, but I did change my mind last meeting, which I know is a surprise. Probably, given the fact that two board members were not here and the recent change in the board makeup, I think it's good that we revisit this. So I just state my concerns. Going from 30 to 0 is it's a big swing. I know a lot of districts are moving more to that 0 number. No, though not all of them are. There are still several districts that do allow for non-hardship cases. My concern is just what happens to those families that were anticipating it and the hardship case isn't quite the right fit, right? The circumstances is something that's just not something we have accounted for. So I feel a little bit uncomfortable with that, but I completely understand the fiscal pressures of those numbers. And I do believe that we should try to align with norms in other districts. And so I think there was some talk among us about reducing the number from 30, but maybe not to an absolute 0. And I would definitely be in favor of coming up with a number we could all feel okay about. And like I said, I really appreciate the open and transparent and clear communication from everybody here.
So I also was one of the absent board members at the last meeting, and we have amongst ourselves had discussions. And Harmony, you correct me if I state things incorrectly. I know because you know more about it than I do, but I'd like to look at a little bit, just so everyone's clear, a bit more of an overview, a little bit higher elevation. Number one is this number of, we're only talking about people transferring out of the district. And each year we relook at that number. So it is every year we'll relook at ins and outs. So just be clear on that. It's fixed for a year, but then reevaluated. Secondly, it does not apply to hardship. It does not apply to charter school or homeschooling. Okay, so be clear about that. Those don't apply. And the other thing that I was interested in was it is now going to be tracked a little more carefully statewide of reasons for people leaving. And that information has been very difficult to find in the past, but OSBA has made some steps to find out why is it that people want to transfer both ways, in and out. And I think that's really important to know as you plan for the future. So I just wanted to give a few overviews of how I perceive it working. And I respect all the other comments that have been made around financial responsibility, what other districts are doing, and it all makes sense. So I would think we have a number in mind that is not 0, but not 30, and that's where I'm sitting right now.
Thank you all for your comments. I really appreciate everyone willing to relook at this and revisit it. As OSBA is looking at transfer windows and reasons for why students transfer, it also is transcending other groups. OSAA has finally put together a transfer task force this year. And they have tried, and it's hard data because you can't really ask people why they're transferring. It's hard data to come across because they don't have to give that information up freely. And so what I had to do at work was I had to pretty much mine the data myself of transfers in and then look at signups if they applied for a sport as a sophomore, junior, or senior. And then that told me everything I needed to know if they were there for academic or for athletics. So it is hard to come by this information, and there are many reasons why people transfer. At the end of the day, we are voted in as board members here, and it is our responsibility to be fiscally responsible for all the students and our taxpayers and families in this district, and to watch kids walk out freely to districts that have completely shut their doors and don't let their kids out. That doesn't sit well with me. And so I really appreciate you having this conversation. I think we all have arrived at a number. I think the pendulum swing back to 0. I understand that. While I'm okay with 0, I know that other board members aren't, and that's okay. And that's what compromise looks like. And I'm willing to suggest the number 10 and go forward with that. And like Han said, we can revisit this every single year and revise given the climate next year. So if everyone is in agreement with that.
Go ahead and speak. Here, you must go.
I appreciate the compromise. I think there are a lot of reasons that families do need to transfer or want to transfer programs that aren't offered in Sherwood. Like you said, a variety of reasons. I don't even want to begin to try to guess it. And so I appreciate that. And I also really appreciate the chance to compromise to at least allow a few cases through. And then, yeah, let's revisit it each year and figure out when we know better. So if you're making a motion for 10, I'll second that motion.
I'm happy to make the motion. I just wanted to add one other thing. And Gary, you might speak to this better than I can. But part of the number we talked about, or you guys talked about at our last meeting, was also the number of students that we allow in. We did receive at least one email feedback just saying like, why are we letting so many kids in the district? You know, my kid's class is full. And so I just briefly wanted to speak to that as well. While we allow or say we are going to allow 170, I think last year we took in like 62 or 60. So we are setting the tone for how many students at what grade level we are willing to allow in. And then we're also telling them, especially at the elementary level, what school you're going to be going to. And so that way we have the ability to level out our classes. I know it feels like that would make for a more crowded classroom, but really more students allows for us to spread our resources more evenly. And so that classrooms aren't bursting at the seams. So I know it's kind of counterintuitive, and I don't know if you want to speak to that at all, but
I would love to speak to that.
go for it.
So the ticket here is that we don't assign those students to a classroom until August. And so, in fact, we get a lot of phone calls in the summer saying, where am I going to be? Where am I going to be? And we don't tell them until we see how our classes shape out. And then we put them in classrooms that are either already small. So if we have small classes across a grade level, we'll plug the transfer students in there. Or if potentially we had a group of classrooms that were large going into it, we would place the transfer students in there and use the funds from those students to hire an additional teacher. We didn't have enough at a grade level to do that this year, but that has happened in the past. And so we are really strategic in how we do it. And bringing in these students actually lowers class sizes on the net, not raises class sizes, because it allows us, if you think about it this way, if every 30 students we bring in and we get $11,000 per student, we get $330,000. It doesn't cost us $330,000 to serve those students. It's a net gain for us because you already have a principal, you already have a head secretary, you already have lights, power, water, all of those things. And so people coming in on the margin actually really helps us out and lowers class sizes. I know that's a little bit intricate, but for people listening at home, I just wanted to lay that out there and we are really thoughtful about how we do this. And students were not placed in the areas where we have large class sizes this year. That is not what's driving that phenomenon.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's hard to put that, in like an email correctly. Well, with that, I'd like to motion to modify the outgoing interdistrict transfer number from 30 to 10 while keeping the original 170 incoming open slots, with the application window being open from March 11th, 2025 until 4 p.m. on April 30th, 2025.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Great. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. That is, oh no. So close, so close. I thought it was a good crescendo to end on. Next up, we are doing the renewal of personnel contracts for 25-26 with Amanda Hollenberg.
Thank you. Due to ORS 342 .805 to 342.937, each district school board shall give written notice of the renewal or non-renewal of the contract for the following school year by March 15th of each year to all teachers and administrators in its employ who are not contract teachers. This evening, the board is asked to approve resolutions renewing contracts for licensed and administrators staff as listed. There are not any questions. Okay. I ask the board to approve the renewal of non-renewal of licensed staff and administrator contracts as presented.
Wonderful, thank you. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the resolutions for renewal and non-renewal of licensed and administrator contracts as presented.
Is there a second?
I second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. And then lastly, Dr. Downs with our OSBA policy updates on our second read.
Yeah, this is just coming back. We've already done the presentation. This is the second read where we are looking for the recommended motion of adopting the policies that we've brought to you.
Wonderful. Is there a motion?
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Abby. I would like to motion that we adopt the OSBA recommended policy updates as presented.
Is there a second?
I second.
Wonderful. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Okay, now the next meeting of the board will be held April 14th,